What's up? This is Tyler Severance for Recess Yo-Yos, and these are 5 easy to learn restarts. Inevitably, while you're yo-yoing, you're going to mess up and your yo-yo is going to stop spinning. And in order to get your yo-yo to start spinning again so that you can bind it and then continue performing tricks, you need to learn what is called a restart. There's a couple really simple ones. People have really fancy ones. These are just 5 simple ones that are very easy to learn. You can basically just watch and interpret. And I'm going to give you some tips to go with them that make them even easier to learn. So first up, we're going to just go with the freehand flick. So the hand that is not attached to your yo-yo string, your freehand, you're going to grab your yo-yo with, take your freehand index finger and middle finger, place them over the edges of your yo-yo like so, and then create tension with your throw hand that's attached to the string. You can do this using the full length of your string, or you can wrap it around a couple times, and then that makes your string shorter and it makes it easier to apply the tension to your yo-yo. And like I said, that's where most of the spin to your yo-yo comes from, is from your throw hand up here and pulling it, okay? You're just really flicking it with this hand. It's not this hand that's like actually making the yo-yo spin super fast. It's all the pressure that's applied from your throw hand up top, just like this. Then once it's spinning, your yo-yo is actually spinning towards you. So keep that in mind as you bind it. You're going to bind away from you to bring it back to your hand. Next up, we have the snap start, which you're going to use whichever hand you snap with. It could be your throw hand or your non-throw hand. You're going to take whichever hand that is, place the 2 fingers that you would snap with. Some people snap with their middle finger, some people snap with their index finger. I can't really make it work. But you're going to take those 2 fingers, place them against the edges of the yo-yo like so. And then instead of just like holding your hand all the way up here and flicking it down, as you can see that's kind of uncomfortable, what I'll do is I'll take my other hand and I'll grab the string that's hanging right here so that when I flick my yo-yo, it actually just kind of hangs right in front of me, and that way when I bind it back, I don't have to like reach all the way down to get my yo-yo. And that gives more of a chance for my yo-yo to like turn off axis, and it won't come back to my hand that way either. Even though the trick is called a snap start and it makes an audible snapping sound, it's more like a rolling of your fingers, and it just dramatically happens, and then your fingers hit together and then create the snapping sound. If you try too hard to actually snap your fingers as you're flicking the yo-yo down, it actually really hurts, and I can't really explain what happens between your 2 fingers, but I can just tell you it hurts a lot if you mess up the snap start. So again, just focus on kind of rolling your fingers like so, and then that'll get your yo-yo spinning nice and fast. And again, just like we were talking about with the freehand flick, how the yo-yo is spinning toward me now, and we need to pay attention to that with our bind. With the snap start, as I'm flicking my yo-yo forward like that, my yo-yo is now spinning forward, and we can just do a traditional front style bind to return the yo-yo back to our hand. Next, we have the trapeze roll-up that looks like this. You're going to take your yo-yo, place it next to your throw hand onto a trapeze mount. You're going to pinch your non-throw hand like this. Then you're basically going to do a bind while the yo-yo is not spinning, just switching positions with your hands like that. You have to perform the first part of this restart very slowly. As you saw, I kind of started it out really gingerly or really carefully. And at this point, I just felt the yo-yo grab onto my pad, which is why I paused. And then from that point forward, you can kind of more dramatically finish the restart. But again, at first, you really want to slowly get the yo-yo started, so that way as it grabs onto the string, you're not just letting the whole thing slip out like that. Smoothly performed, the trapeze restart looks like this. The number 4 restart is an interpretation of a 3A or 4A restart. We don't really exactly have a name for it, so we're just going to call it the hard throw. It looks like this. So for this restart, you're just going to hold your yo-yo in your throw hand like so. You're going to kind of grip it so that I use my ring finger and my index finger, and those kind of cradle the rims of the yo-yo here. And then as I roll my hand up like this, it's almost like I'm throwing the yo-yo, but instead of the string being rolled up, as you can see, it's just kind of flailing all over the place. My fingers are just going to kind of roll it off of the end, and then that creates enough spin for me to be able to perform a bind. It looks kind of sloppy, but you'll see a lot of AAA and 4A players do this restart during a freestyle, because with 4A, you take 3 or 4 seconds to, do this bind where you have to flick the yo-yo and get it to come back, or even the instant one, there's possible things that could happen that could mess it up. But with this throw bind, when they do this off string and it just goes right on the string like that, there's no room for error. It just goes right on the string. The yo-yo's spinning, you can go into a bind and even restart and go into your next trick, which during a freestyle is really crucial to fit as much as you can into as little time as possible. And then with AAA, the same thing. When you have a yo-yo with each hand, a yo-yo in each hand, if you're trying to restart and you have a yo-yo in this hand, it could get really complicated and yo-yos are clanking together. So when you only have one hand available, it's really easy just to throw your yo-yo, restart it, and get it back to the hand like that. Finally, for number 5, we have the kickstart, which is definitely my favorite restart, but you might not want to do with your most expensive yo-yo or your rarest yo-yo in your case. It looks like this. You place your yo-yo on the ground, and you're going to put your foot over top of your yo-yo, making sure that it comes into contact with both halves of your yo-yo. You're going to press your foot down hard enough that it flicks it out like that. Your yo-yo starts spinning, and then you're going to perform a bind. Like I said at the beginning of the video, restarts are always going to happen when you're learning yo-yo tricks, so all of those are just some fun and quick ways to get you moving and back on track to learning that trick again. I'm Tyler for Recess. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down at the bottom, and I'll see you next time.